what you gonna do when they come for you?
The system is stressful as it is. I need to create new habitual pathways so that I don't feel this every time. Because the last 15 minutes prior to the podcast, I'm like angry at you. I'm like, how dare you start this podcast? I have nothing to talk about. And you're like, it'll work out. It'll be fine.
It works out every single time.
It was literally 45 seconds before the podcast started that I was like, okay, fine. I got stuff.
I got a thing.
And then I feel better.
Yeah.
It's really obnoxious, though.
But we're here again on a live show. So
because Jordan really likes doing the live.
And we're live.
And we're live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jordan doesn't like doing the editing post.
No, this makes it so much easier. Oh, my God. So much easier. Holy shit. But, yeah. Finally doing the live thing. Second time, which is awesome. Hopefully we don't, go up in flames like we didn't yesterday.
I mean, there's always a chance living that you will go up in flames.
There is always that possibility. But, this is being recorded. It's going to end up on our YouTube channel after, which is, we don't have a custom URL for our YouTube channel yet.
I feel like that's a silly thing.
Yes, I have to set that up. But either way, if you just go to YouTube and you type in the search bar Jay and Kaskian, which you can see.
You can find us.
Right over there in the corner.
It's got this inverted. Wait.
In the corner.
I can't figure it out.
Over there in the corner, you can see it. Just search Jay and Kaskian. It'll be the first thing you find. There you go. Got it. But yeah, it'll be uploaded on YouTube along with our 18 others because this is episode number 19 now. So we're doing the thing.
We're recording stuff and making things happen. So
yeah. What did you find?
Well, first I wanted to talk, because this is just kind of interesting. A Missouri farmer won a $265 million verdict against Bayer and Monsanto. The jury found that Monsanto conspired to create an ecological disaster designed to increase profits at the expense of farmers. So $265 million verdict against Monsanto.
Against Monsanto.
Okay. It's not like someone's putting this forward. They won.
Yeah. So
Monsanto has been shown that they are creating ecological disaster with their products,
right,
at the expense of farmers to their profit.
Right. Well, I mean, good. Finally,
that it's coming out that people are getting some stuff from it.
Something behind all that shit going on. But that's like for how long though have they been doing like
the Monsanto stuff?
Super messed up stuff. Like
it was a conspiracy theory for the longest time.
For a very long time.
Like Monsanto's trying to kill you with their chemicals. People will be like, shut up.
Yeah. They're like, eat your MSG. Go for it. Eat it up. Nom nom nom. It's good for you. But I mean, that's good news.
It feels like we were always kind of like pointed away from the industrial farming methods that have been employed for so long. Like whenever people were talking about the environment, for the longest time, I mean, I didn't hear about changing the environment by changing the way we vote with our dollar until I was, I don't know, in my early 20s. And I was like, by buying organic and by buying local, I'm actually voting for this stuff. Yeah. But like, we were always just kind of like blinded to it, that the real biggest problems with our environment and all that stuff are because of the fucking corporate factory farming shit.
Factory farming.
Yeah, corporations are doing the worst shit.
There's a lot of evidence now that that's pretty much like probably the worst thing we could possibly be doing to the planet.
Yeah, but I watched that weird soil documentary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Woody Harrelson talking about, with his nice Woody Harrelson voice, about how the dirt needs more attention, needs more microbes.
I remember that there was Woody Harrelson did a thing probably, I don't know, maybe like 7 or 8 years ago that was like full on conspiracy. It was like, there's a group of people that like run the world and they're super evil.
I
and
low key remember that.
Like he's always been on that side, like doing funky conspiracy stuff like that. So he was the one that was. Did he just like host that documentary that you watched?
He was a relatively small part of that documentary.
Yeah.
He just was also.
He was just in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saying good stuff. I liked it. But we got to be better with the soil. We got to plant things together, trap more carbon in the ground.
For sure.
Nature.
For sure. Yeah. So I'm curious now at this point if there is anybody here watching us, because my little notification thing that's up in the thing does not show it. The viewer count doesn't update on Facebook, so we're never going to know if anybody's watching. The only
I'm
way,
just perpetually assuming none.
it's zero.
It's just safer to have no expectations.
Right, but basically what I was saying,
negative people.
That if people want to,
negative,
are ghosts negative? Like a negative?
Do ghosts count as negative people?
Like if there's a spectrum, like positive to negative. I don't know. I'm not sure. But either way, what I'm saying, if they're, oh hey, look at that. You betcha, Anthony. He's here. He's listening to us.
Oh, look at that.
Interesting. But one thing that I was interested in how the Monsanto stuff that, like with that documentary, what was that documentary called that you watched?
I don't know. Something soil. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay. All right. But there is, like, it's really interesting how all of the agricultural and the food and the environmental stuff used to be like contained in the conspiracy realm. How it used to like people thought you were crazy if you're like GMOs are bad and they're gonna kill you. And like, do you remember like that moment in time where all of the like if you were to watch Alex Jones back in like 2012 or 2013, you could see him talking heavily about the, like, they got poison in the foods and they're trying to give everybody cancer and kill us all. Like, that was directly related to like Monsanto type things. Like it was like only in the conspiracy world. So it's kind of cool to see it become a little bit more part of the mainstream stuff.
Yeah, it is. The Monsanto stuff, I'm still kind of waiting for more information on the genetically modified stuff, because right now it's still in like that Bill Gates realm where he's like, no, it's good, and people are like, oh,
yeah, trust me,
he knows stuff because he almost started a monopoly that the government had to. I mean, no, he invented Microsoft. Yeah.
Didn't he steal like his beginning foundation of Microsoft?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not sure if he stole it. He like legally ended up with it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like he created anything. He wasn't like some savant genius that created an entire network. It was like, oh, a team created this, and look who's taking credit for it.
Yeah.
Mr. Gates. Oh, hello, cat.
Yep. There are cats everywhere.
The other thing is...
Oh, Anthony said, or Tony. I don't remember which one he prefers. Tony, probably.
Probably. Anthony. I don't know.
I don't think it matters.
Whatever he wants.
Cotton fields in India were an issue too. I don't know anything about India cotton fields.
I know that there's some weird like Bill Gates stuff in India, but I don't have enough information.
Isn't that where he got booted out for like?
I think so.
For the vaccine stuff.
But you can't find that on Google.
You can't find that?
No, not on Google. You can find it other places. They have it somewhere on Reddit right now.
Yeah, wasn't he
saved to my stuff?
Yeah, wasn't he like full on like his entire operation was like, no, you can't be here. Like, you can't be here anymore because the things that you're doing are like, killing and maiming people, basically.
It's kind of incredible the way that things just get buried, changed.
Right. And now who's bringing us our coronavirus vaccine?
Yeah.
Mr. Bill Gates.
The corona stuff is still so fucking weird.
Yeah. The fact that it's still going on, is a little sketch to me. Like, how are people still going along with it? Because it was like if I remember correctly, we were doing this whole lockdown, wear the mask stuff to flatten the curve.
Yeah,
right?
Because we were all really concerned about the whole hospital situation, which made a lot of sense. I was like, oh, if it's really, I mean, because it is true that it can spread very quickly. Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems like it has a better transmission rate than a normal kind of flu.
Yeah.
By like some margin.
Yeah.
Debatable margin. I don't know. But worse in some way.
Yeah.
But it's not deadly at all.
Right.
Which is what everybody was concerned about, that there would be so many people who would be dying from it, that the hospitals would be overwhelmed. And then none of that ever happened, except in New York, where they did all of the things correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, correctly, except for the governor, like, basically walking people, like, recovering COVID patients through nursing homes. So the QAnon conspiracy about why they were doing that, like the whole the coronavirus thing, and then like intentionally bringing it into nursing homes, was because a very large majority of like seniors and in senior living centers and stuff vote Republican. So they were trying to wipe out. They were trying to wipe out a big portion of the vote. By,
I mean, I'm not big in the QAnon stuff, but that does seem like a spicy conspiracy.
Right.
That would be like, pretty in line.
It's like they're just trying to kill the old folks. And Bill Gates also did have that TED Talk where he was like, maybe we should just kill off the like elderly population to make it better for everybody.
Yeah, Bill Gates has some fucked up thoughts, dude. Yeah. I don't know how accurate these numbers are, but as far as I can see, COVID deaths are marked at like a little over 1 million, 1,014,000.
Like worldwide?
I'm not even sure if it's worldwide. I'm pretty sure this is. It doesn't say. No, and this is another reason why I don't fully fucking trust this.
Yeah.
What is it? Who is coming?
Because the last thing that I saw is the official number is that we officially hit 200,000 deaths in the United States.
Which seems really paltry for like a worldwide pandemic that we handled like so poorly.
Yeah.
But it's also showing on the same chart that like kidney disease is above it at 1.2 million, tuberculosis is at 1.3, car accidents is at 1.35, pneumonia is at 1.4, obesity is at 2.8, and smoking's at 8 million yearly global death. I think this would have to be worldwide. 8 million smoking deaths?
Yeah, that's got to be worldwide.
That's got to be worldwide.
There's no way 8 million people in the United States are dying.
But
from...
I mean, and smoking is something that people choose to do.
Right.
Like we are allowed to go and spend our foolish money buying smoking things so that we die, and yet it's not an epidemic. It's not like some crazy thing that we're all freaking out about, but we're still worried about this.
That corona. Everyone's scared of that corona.
I think I'm for the masks though, in like some situations.
Yeah, some situations maybe. Like if you got to go visit your grandma, like
at
the nursing home or something, like that's what I'd be for it then.
If you've been like looking at any Asian cultures, they do it. They've been doing it for a long time, just out of like respect and courtesy for one another. And it's like, if you're sick, wear a mask. I think that would be a good thing. Like if you have a cold, as I was walking around and I had the like cold that went through our household, 2 people in this house were tested for COVID and both came back negative. So
yes,
it's not COVID. It's just a cold. That still happens.
Yeah, that does still happen.
But like walking around the grocery store and stuff, wearing a mask, I was like, this actually seems like a pretty good idea. Yeah. I'm sick. I should be wearing a mask.
Right. Like if you're like actively sick, sure, throw the mask on.
Like but that's never been a part of like American culture before. I think that's like actually we're looking for positives from the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think that could be a positive.
Maybe, but there's also the argument that like if you regularly wear a mask, that you're like dampening your own immune system because there's normal things that come in.
If you were about to tell me about the oxygen stuff, I was going to throw something at you and be like, that's bad science. But the whole stopping yourself from like being exposed to more bacterium and all that sort of stuff, that's actually really, really solid stuff. Like our bodies adjust to the environments that we're in. If we're like not around people, our bodies shift to more, what's it called? Like I'm gonna use the wrong terminology, but like lacerations and like sprains and like bodily injury. If you're like out in the woods for a substantial period of time, your body chemistry of like healing changes away from like virus protection to like physiological recovering from injuries,
right?
Which is really, really, really fucking cool evolutionary thing that we have. But it's also like if we're doing that in society, we're preventing ourselves from getting those cues. Because I mean, if you're not getting the cues like, oh, I'm sick, I need to build up my immunity, and then suddenly you do get sick, it's going to be way worse.
Way worse. Yeah, and that's part of the problem with people like wearing the mask on a daily basis and having it with every single interaction. Like there's major costs to that I don't think that people think of. But the problem is that there's been hundreds and hundreds of doctors that go out and like put this information out and be like, hey, this isn't a good idea for us to be doing this. But they end up being like, shadow banned and deleted from social media. So to think that there's no funky agenda behind what people are doing.
It's kind of like awe-inspiring that people can really be like still afraid of the coronavirus when the numbers, like the actual numbers, are like 1 million something, when it was supposed to be like hundreds of millions of people were supposed to die across the world. It's like we just barely covered 1 million, we're not entirely
something like 5% of the population
like
was gonna get like evaporated, and we went through
they just turn into water and go into the clouds. Evaporated.
Well, I mean, it's like a Thanos snap. Just evaporated. Got the corona. Oh no, snap. Disappear. But yeah, Angie said, I think the masks are important in hospitals. Hospitals have always been a place where people usually catch something even before. That's very true.
Absolutely true. Like, masks do what they're supposed to do. I just don't think they're doing what they're supposed to do when we're wearing them all the time in society, at like, to the degree that like you choose to go to a public gym and you're forced to wear a mask, and it like makes you less inclined to work out and go to the gym because it's whatever you want to believe. If you're working out and you're wearing a mask properly, it's not as fun. You don't enjoy it as much. I promise.
Yeah, I can.
Like, you can tolerate it, but it's worse.
Yeah,
so you don't want to do it, and then you stop working out, and then you're not as healthy, and then you eat a bunch of poison Monsanto food, and then you turn into a blob, and then you get sick and you die.
Yeah,
agenda fulfilled.
I saw the thing, something on Facebook, or I think it was earlier today or last night, that I saw someone said that they saw someone at the grocery store like who had to park at the very far end of the parking lot, like walk all the way up to the front door, and he's like, oh fuck, and forgot his mask, and like he started walking back to the car and saw a mask on the ground, like just one of the blue ones, and picked it up and just put it on and walked in the store.
Oh, that's really gross. That's really gross.
Like, that's kind of an example though of like, people are not actually worried about getting sick. It's just more so just the mask mandate and the social aspect of it.
Gross. That's like the grossest mask story I've heard yet.
Right? Just pick up a random one off the ground. It's like, well, I need this. Like, okay. But hey, like, our mask mandate in Wisconsin was supposed to stop at the end of September, at the beginning of September, I think, and the governor pushed it to the end of November now. So how much longer do you think that's going to keep going and keep getting pushed? Where it's like, oh, did you see that Florida completely opened now?
No.
Yeah, the governor of Florida like completely removed everything. There's completely open, like completely. Like, all businesses have no more restrictions, no regulations or anything. He was like here's all of the information. The death rate like is non-existent. The amount of people we're testing versus the people that coming back positive, like, it's not worrisome at all. So he just was like, open it all up. So that's a positive.
Yeah, that's a good thing. If that'd be pretty cool. Like, can you imagine like the world just completely opening back up again? Like, after being like after we've been told for so long, like, this is the new normal,
right?
And then everything just opens back up, and it's like, oh no, it's not.
No,
fuck, I can go out to a bar and just get like shitty and not worry about it, bump into a bunch of people, make a bunch of friends,
right?
And then I don't know,
like normal life again.
God, that's such a strange thought, to go back to normal.
Like, I know that this has been happening so long
we've been like steadily getting brainwashed to this is the new normal. Like, the idea that going back the other way, like, it's kind of exciting, like a hope-filled idea.
It could be normal. It's again. This weird like is that like a world that we used to live in when like just 6 months ago it was?
Was it only 6 months ago? It's felt like so long.
I mean, we've been doing this for 6 months. So which is insane. Like, who would have thought that, 6 months ago you just hear about this like virus that's starting to happen, and then all of a sudden there was just this blast of fear like just out of nowhere, that like all of our family members are gonna die and all of this is gonna happen, and now all of a sudden we're like
how does
6 months down the road.
How does anybody trust anyone who is like fear mongering this shit at this point, where it's like, well, yes, it's obviously a real thing, but it's less important than like the people who are concerned about getting the flu and dying from the flu are the people who should be worried about getting coronavirus.
Right.
Same group. They know who they are. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They know how to stay safe and all that jazz.
Right.
I forgot my train of thought.
People know how to stay safe. Coronavirus.
I lost it.
It's gonesies.
It's already
well,
gone.
Either way, like it's the world that we're in right now is this weird. I fail to see people that are like for this like heavy lockdown now, you know, like going through social media, and like I don't really see that much support for it anymore. It's like a majority of the population is like, okay, we get it. Like this is not nearly as big of a thing as we thought it was going to be. So what are we doing? Like, why are we still doing this? And then you have those like very few Karens that are like, well, if everybody just wore their mask,
like if everybody wore their mask,
this would be over already.
No,
it's like everybody has. Do you look around you?
Everybody's wearing their fucking mask.
Everybody, like literally, I see maybe 1 in 50 people that walk around without a mask now when they go into public areas. And to think that has done nothing, that the numbers keep going up, they just keep going up and up and up and up and up. It's like, okay, let's stop the mask thing then. Let's stop it. It's not working, obviously, but that's not the point. So who knows? Conspiracy. It's a conspiracy.
It's just bizarre that it's gone on for so long when it's become so benign of a thing in our society.
Right.
Like the fact that the numbers are what they are, and that it's still being peddled as a thing.
Yeah,
it's almost like dystopian. Like how do we think the way we do as a society and function this way when the truth is like sitting right in front of us?
Yeah.
And they said it was one thing, and now it's like a paltry comparison to that, and people are still like, oh no, but they're still telling the truth about it.
Yeah. Right. Well, the idea is like that the people who are like, I guess, pushing for the mask stuff are on the side of like once you give the government the power to put these regulations on businesses where it's like, no, you're an essential business, you're a non-essential business, you can't close if you or you can't open. If you open up, we're going to come and we're going to like fine you, or we're going to arrest you, we're going to shut your shit down. It's like, that's giving the government the power to do that is a very scary thing. Like you want to try and stay away from things like that happening, like as much as absolutely possible. So people thinking that like this is an okay thing for our government to be doing, I think are missing the point of why people are against it.
I think there's this whole more conspiracy stuff happening. So who benefits the most from this lockdown? Because all the mom and pop shops got shut down real quick. They're non-essential.
Yeah.
And then Amazon, you know, we're all being fear driven, so we just want things delivered to us. We just want food delivered to us. Everything's just going to become delivered. We're going to be totally unsocial. And all the businesses that like made humans human are being shut down and taken away from us. Like, how are they going to reopen? Whereas like the billionaire class is getting richer and richer and richer. Like the pandemic has benefited the billionaire class the most.
Yeah. Like how do you, what is the, something like, I don't even remember what percentage of small businesses have closed now, but it's a massive amount, like permanently closed.
Well, yeah. How could they
like
survive?
Like wiped out.
Most businesses that I know of that were like small have a very small margin of like error that they operate within, and as soon as that's gone, it's like, what can you do?
Right.
Take out a loan?
Right.
You don't know how long the pandemic's going to happen. It's very
yeah, it's kind of messed up. Yeah.
If you're looking at this like huge pulled back picture, it's like all of these small little pieces are being put into place, and it looks really like a dystopian sci-fi novel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Anthony said that the nursing homes take up more than 40% of deaths, and Michigan has since halted reporting deaths since the governor put order through to put sick people in with elderly at nursing homes. There's definitely fear-mongering. Wow. Okay, so they're putting sick people in nursing homes. So even they themselves are like, not a big deal, unless they're just like legitimately trying to kill people. I don't know. That's jacked.
I don't even... We live in a very, very strange reality. Yeah. And all the while, there's like these secret things that are happening. Like the alien stuff is slowly coming out, and Bob Lazar is being proven right. And there's all this ancient history stuff coming out.
Yeah.
The whole time they're just mocking like all of the crazy stuff. Well, all the crazy stuff is also coming out and being shown to be true.
Yeah. Right. That's like the crazy thing about living in this time now, because I feel like for, decades and decades, and I mean, probably centuries, honestly, that we've been in this, well, not centuries, let's say since like the Industrial Revolution, when...
I mean, that's centuries.
When a century, maybe.
2 centuries.
2 centuries?
No.
Because we're coming up on the 247th anniversary of the United States or something, 250th. So somewhere around 250 years we've been around the United States. But for a really long time, since, like I would say, Industrial Revolution time or before, there was really no mechanism for people to look into the higher levels of government and the things that were happening. Like there was no way for the average person just to look into what our leaders were doing, what they were saying, what was happening behind closed doors a lot of times, I guess. But now one of the big things that like the QAnon, and I'm not 100% behind the QAnon movement, because I understand that there's been a lot of like hijacking, and maybe originally it started out like pretty legit, but there's probably a lot of misinformation and some bad actors within those groups, just because it's kind of like an anonymous movement, like the anonymous peeps. You never know who it is or who's actually saying things.
Secret societies are you just can't trust any sort of secret society unless you know exactly who they are and where their information is coming from.
Right, but the idea behind the Q movement is that the age of information and like the internet, I guess, was this thing that happened that the elite or the powers that be, the people that control our society and pull the strings and do all that stuff, we're looking at the internet as a way to control us and to like spy on us and see what's happening and take out people who are planning shit, whatever, right? But what happened is that they themselves became just as dependent and exposed by the internet. Like they email, they text message, they send pictures, and they do all of this stuff, and all of the spying gear and equipment that's hanging out at the NSA, like, is also collecting stuff on them as well. And they had never really had anything like tangible, like holding the elites to the fire and being like, hey, we got you. Like, look, you're doing this thing that is not like, it's illegal and it's really jacked up stuff. And, but now all it takes is a couple good people at the NSA to be like, hey, we just got, like went through like Clinton emails, or we went through this stuff, and they're using pedophile language and talking about this, and then WikiLeaks comes out and dumps it all. And I think that was something that was very unexpected for I guess the elite groups of people. So there's just this weird like the war going on, I feel like, within our government right now. Like there's people fighting for freedom and people fighting for like liberty and like equal opportunity for everyone, and then there's people who are trying to protect their power and people who are trying to like leech off the public, and if the conspiracies are correct, mass genocide, like the entire population. I don't know. I don't know.
Such light topics. I really like it. It's so uplifting.
It's refreshing and uplifting. Yeah,
making me think about all of the hope we have for our planet.
But no, it is a little bit hopeful, because you can watch it happening. The fact that things are getting so bad right now, I think, is kind of proof that like we're in the process of like scraping the shit off of us. And it's like I think I made this analogy before. It's like a face sucker, right? Like it's like latched onto your face, and we're pulling it, and it's just like gripping in tighter and tighter. So it's like pulling skin with it, and it's like trying to make as much havoc as it possibly can.
It already laid its egg in your chest. But you're fucked.
Maybe we'll rip it off, and 100 years down the road, they're gonna come back and try again. I don't know. Who knows?
I hope not.
Right.
I don't have much hope for society.
Yeah. Well, Nora's here.
Oh, hi.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Hello, Nora. Anthony said, darkest before the dawn, lads. That's true.
Such optimism.
Right? Like, maybe that's what it is. Like, this is the darkest time before the dawn. But it can get a lot darker, though. That's the thing.
We're not going to speak of that.
It can get a lot darker. There's a scary possible future sitting in front of us.
Why can't we just go to like the Star Trek way of things? Like, I want to go explore space and shoot things. Be like, pew pew pew.
Hey man,
pew,
we
pew.
have a space force now.
Do we really though? Is that like a thing that's happened?
Yes.
Are people in the space force?
Yes.
Are they in space?
Yes. Well, no, they're not in space now, but they're like training and working on craft and like figuring out how to get into space.
If Space Force has a battalion of Jedi, I will devote my life to them. I want this more than anything.
Yeah.
Give me a laser sword.
Yeah.
And then point me in a direction. By golly, I'll go fight some reptilians.
Yeah.
Lizard people.
Yeah, Nora said the show about it is hilarious. The space. They made a show.
It's a really good show. Steve Carell is great in it.
I haven't seen it. I saw like a preview for it, but I never actually watched it.
She's right. It's really good.
Yeah, that's it's funny. Like, did they are they doing that just to normalize the idea of like Space Force? That's ridiculous. Let's just make it like a very light comedy so people never take space travel and aliens seriously.
Well, okay.
Is it a psychological operation?
You've flown into Denver, right?
Yes.
The DIA?
Yeah.
Did you see the murals when they were there? Because all the murals have been taken down.
No.
The 12 murals that were up there with all like the crazy fucking shit that people could not deny.
Yeah.
Like the war, the like bodies of children, the extinct animals, all that crazy stuff. So Denver, like, because people couldn't explain it away. Like, you could look at Denver International Airport and be like, oh yeah, the conspiracy theorists say it's a big alien airport or whatever. It's got underground bunkers. And then like walking through, looking at the murals, you're like, oh fuck, what the fuck is up with this? And then seeing like the gargoyles climbing out of suitcases and the Masonic like statues with their symbols all over. Everybody was just like, yeah, something like, you can't deny it. Denver International is really weird. And then they like leaned into it and they started putting up like construction signs saying like, we're building something with like little aliens on the thing.
Oh, really?
They like leaned into it really hard all over it. It was just like they were making a joke of how the conspiracy happened. And then quietly, as that was happening, they took down everything.
They took it all down?
All the murals are gone. And they made it like cookie cutter.
What the hell?
Yeah, and now they're changing it. Like, they're still doing all these projects. And it's like, why did you need to take the murals down if it was just a bunch of silliness?
Right. I remember seeing like a little documentary made on the Denver International Airport. And there was like the horse with the red eyes. I remember driving past that thing and seeing it. What was its name? What was that horse's name?
I don't remember what the horse's name is. All I know is that its head fell on the architect and it crushed it. the
Yeah.
sculptor. I don't know.
It killed him. But I remember seeing that documentary, and I was like, okay, this is all like right out in the open. There's all of the Masonic symbols and everything, like right in your face.
Like comically so.
Yes, like right in your face.
Yeah. You don't even have to look for them. They're just right there. You don't have to do a conspiracy breakdown or anything. You can just walk through the murals and be like, what?
Like, why these things? Like, there was like the murals had like this story behind them, how there was going to be a plague that like
an apocalypse, war, and all the children would die, and the animals would die too. And then at the end of the murals, there was like this opportunity for peace, where all peoples are the same, and they're all holding like doves and animals, and it's like under one new world order.
Yeah. So, it's so kind of like the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah.
Like, well, no. After a certain period of time, we're just going to take out like billions of people. So just the few that are left, they can have a utopia, because we can't have utopia when we have so many people. Just kill them all. Just kill everyone. Like, we're doing this for the greater good. Okay, Thanos. Like, literally half the population, except this time it's like 95% of the population.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the number they want? Like 500, like 500,000?
They want the maximum number of people. Okay, this is like speculation and conspiracy theory, if y'all haven't figured that out by now. But supposedly the elites of the New World Order that run the world, we don't even know who most of their names are, they want the population to sit, like, of the entire planet, like global planet, to be at 500 million people.
Okay, so
and we're at like 8 billion right now.
Yeah, so that would be like Canada and the US, but less.
Yes, right, around the entire world, which is insanity.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Tony said the demons love to hide in the open grat. Horse out front. Love the topic.
Yeah. He was on a similar thought train. That horse out front. So, like, if anybody's not familiar with Denver International's airport, you go and look at that horse as you're driving into the airport, and you tell me that shit don't look evil as fuck.
It looks pretty damn evil.
It looks scary. Yeah. Horses aren't that scary looking.
I can't believe that they took it down.
Not the horse. All of the other stuff.
Well, yeah, all of the murals and stuff. Yeah. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Didn't they say there's a time capsule there, too, that they buried somewhere? Like, they buried a time capsule to be open in, like, 30 something, like 125 years in the future. Similar.
I had family that worked at DIA, and they said, and they weren't like conspiracy people, they were just kind of like open-minded, and they said there were just so many tunnels. Like, the times that they had like gone a few floors down, they were like, why does the elevator go so low? Why are there so many stairs that keep just going down? Like, what the hell is going that low in the airport? And then they just keep building on it.
Well, if you go into like a lot of our alien peeps that we listen to, like, they talk about there being
deep underground bases
Domes. And tunnels and bunkers where they hide alien technology. Actual aliens that they're working with are all underground, where they train people to use like psychic powers and telekinesis and all this crazy shit.
If this shit is actually happening underneath my feet, I'm gonna be so pissed when I die. I'm gonna be like, what? Why was I living on the surface? Like, I had to play video games to get that shit and watch movies. I could have been living it. That would have been great.
Right.
Train me to be a crazy secret operative. I want to do backflips and then float in space and have superpowers.
Right.
And laser sword.
Yeah. Well, there's the one dude that said that there's like an electronic train system that connects like thousands of miles that travels.
Yeah, that you can travel from like Denver International down to like Texas in a matter of like half an hour, and you can go from like Texas to the North Pacific in like 30 minutes as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that, like, if all of that is happening right underneath us, like, I just want, like, bring it out, please bring it out.
Or just let Jordan and I come in.
Yeah.
And then let us do podcasts about it. No one's going to believe us. They don't believe anything else that's, like, right in front of them. Monsanto just got caught with a fucking case for $250 million, and it's like, everyone's like, yeah, but also, like, Monsanto, like, whatever. I'm going to go get McDonald's now. No one would believe us even if they showed us. So just show us. Just let us come and meet some crazy aliens. I want to like fist bump some cool aliens, and I want to be scared by some scary aliens, and then I want to talk about it.
Right? Train me how to like burst through doors with my mind and fly.
We need Jordan and I will do an entire podcast series of a training montage, because everybody needs a montage. Montage.
Right.
And then we can just be like crazy alien super agent peoples. God, how interesting life would be.
Right? If you could actually be part of that. But that's also like a Nora said, I want the aliens to take me away. That would be sick.
Right? Like I've mentioned it to everybody who's like important. If I just straight up like disappear, assume that I am with aliens. Because I'm really banking on this. I'm always like, just come get me. Just come get me. I'm done with this shit. I'm ready to go and do some cool shit. I really don't need to be here anymore. Everybody's good without me. It's alien shit. I'm down for it. I want a laser sword.
Right? Like, man, that's just... well, a lot of the stuff that Nora, even Rocky had a montage.
Rocky had a montage.
But that's like the... our alien peeps. I'd like how we just call them alien peeps. The people that we watch on to get our information on outer space.
There's a fucking lot of those alien peeps at this point. Like so many people have come forward.
Right. But that's like how they talk about there's actual... Oh, that's just our
aliens.
Neighbors. That wasn't aliens. Neighbors. That was just our neighbors moving chairs. But the... our alien peeps talk about how there are actual like alien factions, like full-on alien factions that have control of different power structures within the world. And what we're seeing manifested right now is like the power struggle goes all the way up into space, into these intergalactic, interdimensional alien races that are have been kind of like pushing humanity in these different directions. And a lot of the people that have had power, like in our lifetime, in our parents' and grandparents' lifetime, have been a reptilian species. So that's where the whole like lizard people comes from, and like all of that shit. So like to think that that's a I like to entertain that idea.
It's more fun. It's
more fun.
If that reality has any truth to it, it's way more interesting than any movie or book that's been put out at this point, because it's like fun. I mean, it has everything. It has like reptilian dragon people that we all gotta fight who are trying to eat us. And it's got like good guys that we don't know, and like ancient people that we all just suspect exist. Yeah. And it's full of mystery and wonder, and right. And this life is so fucking boring here.
Right. Like, but that's a part of that's what David Icke talks about as a part of the control system, is like through our like the chemicals in our food and our entertainment and like the psychological stuff that they do to us as we're growing up, like we're purposely like led astray in our perspective in what we think of this reality and this life as it's like it's closed on purpose. We're never introduced to that information because it makes us more controllable. So it's like lizard people have been manipulating us forever, and now we're here to throw them off the boat and be like, screw you, lizard people. It's time to wake up. All the spiritual stuff is real. All the alien stuff is real. Like the psychic stuff, the energetic stuff.
How fucking cool! Like in that what's that one movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis, Looper. Like in the world, humans start developing in varying capacities like telekinetic abilities. And then like some freak evolution things happen, and there's like a few people who can just do it really, really well. Like, how exciting would that be if like humans just started being able to like one, like rotating coins around and shit like that,
just like with their hands?
It would validate everything, because all of the things, all the conspiracy things are this like interconnected web.
Yeah.
So if one branch gets proven to be like factual,
Like,
it's like all the other ones are like, oh my God, the thing is so much better.
Yeah, right. Like if you break, that's the problem when it comes to lies, man. Like when you lie to people,
It's a web.
it becomes a web. And if you pull one pin out, like you're going to start unraveling things, and it can trace all the way. So that's why it's so dangerous. That's why it's like truth is so important. And it feels like our entire, like all of humanity has been lied to about, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing on this planet? Like, what's going on?
I feel like this pandemic shit is kind of one of those like it was like the most poorly placed lie.
Yeah.
Because so many things had to go right for them, for like those in power, however you want to consider it, for it to like actually pan out the way they wanted it to. And it just doesn't look like that. And I feel like maybe I'm bonkers and more people aren't waking up to it, but it seems like the vast majority of people are not that concerned about it. And they're like, it seems kind of like we were lied to, and that like our country lost hundreds of millions or billions of dollars from this fucking inconsequential disease, virus, excuse me.
Yeah, which now whistleblowers have now come out and said was verified and confirmed made in a lab in China. That Wuhan lab in China had just had, back in 2014 or something, had like $3 million donated by the Obama administration specifically to the exact same lab where the coronavirus came from. It's like, man, you pull the strings. Like, you pull the strings on coronavirus, and all of a sudden you got aliens in your lap. Like, there it is. Nor said, Jordan, you remember how I was about the pandemic? I'm so over it. Now they are saying the ventilators are part of the problem. Push the shit info. Push the shit into
sorry,
the
I'm stuck at Anthony's wiggly tentacles. He's still
yeah, but shit, man, I have a lot of hope that the thing that I'm the most afraid of is that this is going to be rolling out much slower than I want it to,
right?
And that I'm not going to get to live to see like the true disclosure of everything.
What a fucking bummer it would be if like we get to 85 and then suddenly everything collapses and they come out and people are like, well, we've been like a bunch of like 30-year-olds come out into the public and government, and they're like, well, we've been lied to. And now we're coming clean with everything. The people need to know everything. And we're just going to be old and be like, fuck me!
I'm about to die.
Is there age reversal? I want to fly.
Right. Yeah, no, that's the thing that I'm most afraid of. But there's a possibility, man. There's a possibility that it's coming like real soon. That it's like within the next 5 years, like the entire system is going to be collapsing and like come apart.
That would be absolutely ideal world version would be all of this stuff comes out and then we can like stasis our age and we can be like 33 for the next 500 years,
like forever.
And then we can like travel to other planets and see crazy shit, and just basically just float around in sci-fi novels.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, where do you think those ideas came from?
The ether,
the Akashic records.
That's a fun one too.
Yeah, but that's the. I hope that we're going in that direction where more people are getting to the point where it's like reality is much more complex and crazy than we ever thought it was, and there's a lot of evidence to prove it. I mean, there's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit out there that is not legit, but even if it's only a small percentage, like I said, you pull that one thread, there's going to be a lot more that comes with it when it comes to people's perception of what's possible in our reality. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Yeah. I mean, there's...
Everybody have an apocalypse plan.
Yeah, definitely have an apocalypse plan. Considering the fact that I feel like we're teetering on this edge of like, are we gonna go this way, or are we gonna go this way? Like, are we gonna go towards like the complete dystopian 1984 world wiped out by bullshit, or are we gonna go towards the like Star Trek universe?
I feel like this the dystopian one would be a very slow rollout.
Yeah,
like it's a very controlled, methodical, step by step by step by step, and then the only version that we actually get all the cool shit is like, oh shit, suddenly everything's here.
Yeah, but the only problem is though, like there's so many people that have been people's perspectives are very closed right now. So if all of a sudden you start rolling out like alien technology and all of this insane stuff, like, well, actually, like
we're in the age of disinformation at this point. Like if it happened today, I don't think that people would be conditioned enough to be like, that's fake. But if it happens 10 years from now, I bet you if aliens landed on someone's front yard and it was entirely on video from 10 different perspectives, people would be like, it must be just like a fake, like it's a movie trailer. It's something. Like it's just some bullshit. Because people really, at a certain point, if the technology could replicate it, why would you believe anything else?
Right.
Like people, we are really conditioned to accept things as the way they are. Like all life is you make money, you make children, and you die.
Yeah.
And they repeat the cycle, and nothing ever happens, which seems so sad.
Where it's like, it's very identity based. Who are you? What's your career? What's your job? How much money do you have? Can you take out a loan? What does your house look like? How many kids do you have?
I'm not doing well. in the scope of what life is supposed to be important, I am not doing well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and me both. So,
but if someone gave me a laser sword, I bet I could change the world, change people's minds. Just give me a laser sword. Someone, please give me a laser sword.
You hear that, black budget project military guys? Like,
we know you're watching our live Facebook podcast.
Yeah, with three whole people here with us.
So give me a goddamn laser sword.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm an entitled millennial, and I deserve it.
Yeah, right. Hey, you never know, man. Maybe we'll have someone knock on our door. Maybe. You never know. But we are currently at 57 minutes and 1 second.
I'm okay with that.
I feel pretty solidly happy with
having very little to talk about and having a slight panic attack beforehand.
Right.
I think this went better than I thought it would.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good conversation.
It was okay.
But
I like that people were chiming in. That is a fun aspect.
Right. Adding.
Thank you, people. I love you, people. You people are great.
You people are fantastic. Love you all. Again, this will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. Search Jay and Kaskian.
And we're going to do the thing that makes it so like you can do YouTube and then type in Jay and Kaskian and you show up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll do that.
Exactly. We will do that. But it was fun, and we will see y'all in the next one.
Bye-bye.